think it's done that thing where it hasn't. Ah, there we go. Now it is. Good evening, everyone. Over the years, Marina Bay has played host to some of the most dramatic Formula One races of all time. Whether you're looking at George Russell crashing out 2 years ago when he was hunting down Carlos Sainz, or you go all the way back to 2008 when Nelson Piquet was told to, well, let's say, put it into a wall. Tonight, Singapore hosts the final round of season 22, where we have a two-way fight for the championship between Pars and Ruddo 24. Out of the Red Bull and the Ferrari, which one's going to win? I'm Jack TM53, your commentator here for round 8 of the championship. It's a pleasure and a privilege, as always, to be here with Invictus Racing League, and I'm delighted to say that alongside me in the commentary box, first of all, we've got our good friend ARL.
Yeah, no, hello chaps, and good evening to everyone watching, and what a way to round out the end of the season, end the year even. So yeah, bring it on.
And adding to that a little bit of verbosity of excitement there, we've also got Bjorn alongside us. How are you, bro?
Evening. It's great to be in the commentary box for the final round of the season at such a great track at Singapore. If anything, if it was up to me, Abu Dhabi would not be the final round in real life, but it'd definitely be Singapore. So yeah, can't wait.
I cannot wait. You are echoing all of our sentiments here in Invictus Racing League. We do have a big title fight, as I mentioned at the top, just to give you an indication of where we are with everything. Pars leads the championship by on 89 points, 3 points clear of Ruddo 24. Kent is mathematically involved in the championship, however, because of the victory disparity between himself and Pars, he is technically out of the championship despite being able to claw it back to level on points. So we're looking at a top 2 shooter. 3 points separate it. If Ruddo wins the race tonight, he will be champion regardless of whatever Pars does. Ruddo has more victories currently than Pars. He has 2. Pars himself has 2 as well. But the difference is, of course, if Pars finishes in front of Ruddo, he'll be champion. So it could go either way. Now, I'm not cruel. I won't ask either ARL or Bjorn who they think is going to win the championship. But I will ask my first question to you both is, if you are the guy who's leading the championship going into the final race of the season, how do you prepare for it, and what are the strategies that you'll be undertaking?
Oh, it's you say leading the championship, but bear in mind only 3 points. So realistically, whichever driver finishes ahead is most likely to take this victory. So I think for both drivers, it's going to be probably try and do the opposite, because they've got to both do something different to get ahead of each other. For example, Pars can't keep it too safe. He's got to make sure he stays with Ruddo and try and even be ahead of him at all times during the race. But you never know, with some other drivers fighting for potentially a podium or a win, they're not in this championship fight, but they don't have to get out of the way. So maybe a little bit of a mix in there as well.
It's a tough question you're asking here. I think like planning ahead and every scenario that could happen in the race while you're in a championship battle, especially for such a close round, I think it's just distracting, honestly, because you just gotta drive your best to your best capability, and you just gotta hope your opponent does something wrong. That's how I see it. But yeah, if you're just gonna plan out every scenario, it might distract you while you're driving. So that's how I see it.
Oh, there we go. Wise words from 2 great drivers who are alongside me tonight. And the other thing that what we just discussed there was an important point, is that there are drivers fighting for podiums. There is another championship on offer tonight as well, and this is just as important. It's the constructors standings. Ferrari lead the way on 115 points, but just 13 back are Mercedes, and that is NSX Berra and O'Stephen. Let's not forget, Berra and O'Stephen, they've had a fantastic season between themselves. O'Stephen getting that podium, let's not forget, at the start of the season at round 1. Berra has been hunting down victories. He's just come short a couple of times this season, but he's knocking on the door. Williams at 18 points back as well, so that's Kent and Clips Kirry. Sadly, actually, no, correctly, Kent is here tonight. I was about to say sadly because I didn't see him join, but he is there. So you've got 2 championships going alongside that not only is Ruddo and Pars having to fight for, but they've got to be wary that there are other battles going on. And I know for a fact that O'Stephen and Berra, 13 points is a realistic target to overhaul the 2 Ferraris of both Matty Rudd and Ruddo 24. It's got all the makings, hasn't it, gentlemen, of being one of the best ways of ever concluding a year with Invictus Racing League.
Oh, without doubt, that's for sure. I mean, like you said as well, you've got the constructors to even think about with Berra and O'Stephen. They're going to want to be staying as much ahead of the Ferrari, which of course Ruddo in contention. Even the Williams, of Ken. It just, you could not write this more in a better manner. It's just incredible that we're going down to the wire where we could have 3 teams to be champion and 2 drivers having a fight with only 3 points separating them. Incredible.
I'm just glad you haven't asked me for a prediction, that's all. I think that says enough.
I'm not going to be mean enough tonight to ask either of you two who you think is going to win the championship, because I think it's Kent's out of qualifying, by the way. I've just noticed that. So he's going to be starting from 18th on the grid. In fact, he's pulled over to the side of the road. I've just seen the Gulf liveried Williams off the side of the track there. So not quite sure what has happened to him. But as I was saying, I'm not going to be mean enough tonight to tell or ask either of you who your predictions are, because I think when you're in a championship fight as close as this, it's too hard to call. I mean, the last time we had a championship this tight going into the final round, you look at last season with yourself, Bjorn, and Sydney. You go back a few seasons further for myself and Lucas Blaha in Tier 3, back when we had 3 tiers, heady days that those were. But the thing is that would you... one question I will ask you both. I'm just following Mikey on an outlap at the minute. Who would you rather be in this situation? Would you rather defend from the front, as in Pars, or would you rather be Ruddo attacking and having arguably less to lose?
There's no doubt having 3 points advantage, or just having a point advantage, is the better thing to do. But I think either driver has their own way. Mikey just tapping the wall before starting a lap.
Yeah, I think those 3 added points for Pars will put some more pressure on him than for Ruddo. So, of course, me personally, I'd still rather have 3 points, but I can understand if someone would pick the deficit, because there's just way less pressure on you compared to the leader. Think of last season, for half of the season in Tier 1. I mean, Sydney, he's a great driver, lots of respect for him, but he can be quite nervous at sometimes, and he will make mistakes because of it. Please correct me if that's wrong, Sydney, in the chat. I know you're watching, but if that is the case, then I can definitely understand both options. But yeah, 3 points is 3 points. So.
Yeah, well, there we go. What wise words spoken. I'm just looking through the field. We've got Ginger Tiger on a medium set of tyres. ARL for the final time this season. Would you be willing to take us on a lap of this fabulous Marina Bay circuit?
Oh, without doubt. Right, coming up into turn 1, 2 and 3. Easy place to invalidate. Cut as much of the curb on the inside, then run it out through into 3. Nicely done through there. Get the traction through as much as you can. Deploy a little bit of ERS to help with that. Now swing it into 5. How early do you get on the throttle before nearly going into the wall? But that's nicely done and clean. First DRS location, main overtaking opportunity down into turn 7. Take a little bit of curb on the inside and the outside, but that's absolutely fine. Watch out for the locking into turn 8. Now traction full as much as you can, swing it through again, so close to the wall, but you've got to take those margins if you want to get a good lap on the board. Now through what used to be quite a tricky chicane, turn 10, now through into 11 and 12. Watch out for that curve, that can really unsettle. Through the bridge into turn 13, hook it up, turn it as much as you can, throttle to the maximum as much as you can, DRS enabled. You'll use a bit of battery to help him through here. Into the braking point, take a little bit of curb, watch out for track limits here, that white line you can so easily invalidate, but he keeps it nice and close. Turn 15, which is a corner, but realistically it's not, absolutely no problem. Now through 16 and 17, the last chicane of the track, watch out for the inner curb there, that can throw you off, keeps a good margin to the wall, and that's absolutely fine. Has a bit of a lift for the final corner, and to save time, and it's actually a pretty good time on the medium set for Ginger Tiger. 30.3 puts him up to P2.
Quicker than his teammate on the soft compound tyre. So Ginger Tiger certainly lined up and ready for this. I'm just following Ruddo as he comes around the final 2 corners in that Ferrari. He's going to go quite quickly, and it's a 29.8 from the first of the championship protagonists. And I've noticed, for Bjorn's benefit, Pars has decided tonight he's using the Honda Celebration livery, so he's going to stick out like a sore thumb in that white and red Red Bull.
Well, you already know I'm a big fan of that. That is a beautiful livery, just like Kent last week.
Well, here comes Pars into the right-hander. And this is an important lap. Already we're into the first, looking at 5, 6, 7 minutes of this qualifying session. I'm just watching him as he breaks down into the last couple of corners. And this is an important banker for Pars to get on the board. He's just approaching the final 2 corners now of this brilliant circuit, through the left-handers and over the line. It's a 29.7. There's not much in it already.
That's already very, very close, but crucially, they're still a good 2/10 off. Berra's setting an incredible lap time. This is what I mean. You can have these drivers, they're in their own little fight. They're not going to get out of the way just because Pars and Ruddo is fighting for this Drivers' Championship. So just having a driver like Berra in the mix for this Grand Prix tonight can really potentially cause havoc for either driver.
Yeah, and of course, as I was alluding to before, the Mercedes of Berra in that championship fight. So he's got one car up there. He needs O'Stephen to come and give him some backup. In fact, O'Stephen on a flying lap now, and that's a little bit better from the second of the Mercedes drivers. That puts him into 7th position. Matty Rudd in the constructors fight. He's just coming out of the turn 5 right-hander onto the main straight. Turn 6 is a corner, interestingly enough, according to the official F1 app, but that's where we're at the minute. But he's doing well on this position. What I would say, actually, another question for you both, because Matty Rudd and DXT Matty, they're both not in the championship, but for the Red Bull, especially for Matty, he's not involved in the Constructors' Championship. Is it important for him to be a support act to Pars today? Will they throw a little bit of a spanner in the works? Not just Pars, but for the Rudds as well?
Oh, I think without doubt they both know their fight is not really in the drivers' standings, but you know their teammates both going at it. So 100% with things like strategy choices, maybe trying a different tire strategy, and maybe testing, does this tire work as expected, does it not? Just having a difference in strategy as well, if they're up there, can force the other driver who is in the championship fight to maybe be a bit worried. But yeah, that's my view on it, as Matty Rudd comes across the line in only 11th for the second Ferrari. So that's not going to be enough if you're Ruddo right now, because you're going to be wanting your teammate right up there.
Well, ARL, I've got nothing to add what you said. I'm sure Pars would have sent Matty a message, and Ruddo would have sent Matty Rudd a message. So we'll see how that works out, if they can if they can change something for their teammates. It's definitely possible, especially if you just do a different strategy, just like you said.
And speaking of strategy, we saw last night it was a bit of a peculiar one because it was an intermediate race pretty much all the way through. I know that Geeson tried to go onto the dry compound tyre and things didn't work out for him. But tonight, it's really going to be a case of two stops seemingly is the way forward, but a one stop is possible if you can get the tyres to last. Am I right in saying?
If you treat them very, very nicely and pay the dinner, then yes. But I think tied egg was quite high, and I think Bjorn could agree with that. And of course, race fuel inters are a completely different tyre set to the dry compound, so I think it was also a challenge just to do a one stop on the intermediates, so I think it's going to be difficult on the dry sets.
Yeah, well, we all planned to do a one stop on the inters. I was in the party. Go ahead.
Oh, I just saw Matty having a huge snap of oversteer then. Coming out of turn 14, the right-hander at the end of the little DRS zone. I don't know how he saved that, but he was on a really strong lap. I'm just watching him come through the final corner. And I think he'll have lost all the time that he gained. Yeah, he lost most of it, actually. He was almost half a second up, so he could have been on row 2, right alongside Ruddo. But go back to yourself, Bjorn.
Yeah, so we were all planning the one stop, just inters to inters. And, well, we are in the party, myself, Merkt, Jeremy, and Louis. And I suddenly realized, midway through my second stint, as we are going through Sector 3, I said, guys, the tires won't last. Then Merck dove into the pits as soon as he heard that, and I didn't think it through clearly, so I stayed out. So he was able to make such a gap. So I'm not sure if it's possible. The game thinks it's possible, but I already tire save a lot, and I don't want to brag here, but if I can't make it possible, I'm doubting if anybody else can here. So
the outgoing season 21 champion, I think, knows what he's talking about. If we're wondering about his validity of the comments, Ruddo's on a stonker. Look at that. That's a marker to lay down, IRL.
Oh yeah, I was watching that lap, and he looked absolutely in control, and the car was responding exactly the way he needs to. But Paz is now on his lap and 2/10 up in Sector 1. So what can the Red Bull, the beautiful white Red Bull for tonight, what can he do to try and challenge Ruddo off the throne? But as well, keep an eye for Bera, because Bera's first lap very good already, so maybe he can be in the mix as well.
Ooh,
What has Paz got?
this.
Paz is 8/10 up. Purple Sector 2, he's absolutely flying.
I think they've both been practicing a little bit too much over the last few days. Forget Christmas in Pars and Ruddo's household. They have been non-stop. Forget your last-minute Christmas shopping. They'll do that tomorrow on Christmas Eve. But Pars is going to come around the final two corners, and this is going to be a good effort. Look at that! 0.02 of a second separating the two of them around the track that is, if my memory serves me well, 3 miles. 0.02 separates them.
I think 3.1, just to add a little bit of spice.
Well, I mean, we've got to be accurate about these things. And you're not wrong. It is. I think it's 3.06. So yes, if we round up, ARL is right.
Oh well, just want to get the facts clear. But yeah, no, this is why they have been consistently fighting at the top. The gap, absolutely nothing in between them really. But I do hope, as you mentioned, I feel sorry if they've not done any of their Christmas shoppings to whoever they're getting the gifts for, because that might be a bit of a sad Christmas. But yeah, but anyway, they've got time tomorrow if they're going to go shopping.
It'll be an especially sad Christmas for whichever one loses. So to be honest with you, and they haven't done the Christmas shopping to go alongside it.
Right. That's the important discussion now. Win it so that Christmas can be a little bit nicer.
Sydney just commenting to say in dry, he thinks it's a one-stop. He's saying Inters were worse. So Sydney feeling that's the case. Hello to Tristan. Good to see you, Tristan, again. It's been a while since we last seen you on track, but you were here last week with the action, which was good to see you. So Spud has asked, how many safety cars do you think? And that's a question I'll pose to the two of you.
Well, yesterday was pretty much clean. Nothing went wrong, but obviously yesterday was another day, and I'm going to say a VSC and a safety car.
1 and 1. Bjorn, what about you?
I'm going to say 2 virtual safety cars and 0 safety cars.
Ooh. No safety cars. I mean, this is a track that is infamous in that every single year bar one, it's had a safety car in. And I fully expect the Tier 2 drivers to continue that trend on. That's no offence to the drivers who are out there tonight, the 17 of them that are racing this evening. But it is just one of those races that over the years has caused quite a lot of consternation within IRL. The last time we ran at this track, I'm sure Ginger won't like me reminding him about this, but he inadvertently prevented Mikey RK13 from getting his first podium in IRL when he reversed across the track on the final lap. And that caused about 4 or 5 cars to just end up losing front wings and all sorts. So it's one of those circuits, with it being the last race of the season as well, where everyone will be looking out to go out on a bang. I know that the 2 Sauber drivers will be aiming to do that, with the Line agrees to be the only point scorer of the 2, Mikey just hoping to get around, and Sir Spud himself looking for that first point. That's a question I'll ask. I'm not going to ask you in the last 2 minutes who's going to get pole position or who's going to win this race. Will Sir Spud get a point tonight? That's my question for the 2 of you.
You don't make it easy regardless. No, I don't. We will always wish that he can get that point, whether it happens or not. That's not up to us, but you know, like we always say, you've got to be in it to have any chance of it. So if it happens, great. If it doesn't, you know, there's next season. But yeah, but as the drivers now crawl their way out for one more time of the season and the year, boys.
Yep, that is going to be... This is it, really. I've been following Matty Rudd. He got a bit of a jump on everybody. He went out earlier on his first, well, final flying lap of the session and of 2025 on F125. And he's going to just come into these final couple of corners here at 16 and 17. He's just breaking through the gears now. Out of the corner he comes. He's just about got enough battery to round off this lap. But I don't think it's going to get him in the top 10. And in fact, it puts him in 11th. For the time being. And everybody else, boys, it's outlap time or they're on a flying lap, and Maras is also one of those drivers on a flying lap currently.
Yeah, Maras just up under 3/10, but she's got a V-carb in front. Unfortunately, that's not going to help. Pulls over to the left hand side, but that dirty air will be following you through the bridge section. But now, realistically, you've got this corner and then the final chicane to go. Has a Mercedes just up ahead, so maybe a little bit of a tow for her. But also, at the same time, potentially a little bit of dirty air. Throws it into the last of the 2, goes a little bit wide. The rear slides a bit there, not happy for Maras. Has some battery to use for the final corner, and she puts it up into P6. Good lap from her.
Yeah, really strong lap that from Maras. She was on a good lap. Maybe there was a little bit more time in there. Pars has seen the checkered flag. He's spun at the final corner. So Pars is not going to be on pole. He's cracked at the final corner. I just saw it in the background. He'd lost the car. And that is game over for Pars. So he's not going to qualify in front of Ruddo. Mikey is not going to move from 16th. Lionel Griesby's going to end up in 15th on the grid. I'm just looking through the grid order. I want to say that is a Williams coming towards the start-finish line. It is. It's Cliffs. He was the first of the top 10 to get onto his flying lap. He is improving on this effort, and he goes third. That's a good effort for the Constructors' Championship. That puts a car up there.
I just want to say, keep an eye out on Ruddo and Berra, both improving, but Ruddo might not. He's got the Mercedes of Steven in front, and Ginger Tiger goes to provisional pole. 28.9. Where did that come from?
That was an astonishing effort. JPH goes into 9th place. Can Nitro respond? He can't. He stays in 7th position. Just looking who's coming around the final corner. Keza, Madman up to 9th place. Considering what we were talking about in the pre-race track, that's quite impressive from him. Berra up to 4th. That is an improvement, but just couldn't quite get there in the end. Ruddo is approaching the final corner. He needs to get in front of Ginger Tiger to give himself a buffer to pass. He can't quite do it. And it's Ginger Tiger who has provisional pole. I don't think there's anyone else on circuit who is going quicker. Kez is in the pits and Maras is, I'm going to assume, done. Ginger Tiger, out of nowhere, has snatched pole position.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But this is what I mean. It could be anyone throwing into the podium positions. It really can. But it's just, but the top 3, less than a tenth. I mean, less than half a tenth.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
Well, I mean, that was a phenomenal qualifying session. Bjorn, what did you think of that, mate?
To be honest, mate, I was calculating every scenario possible for the championship outcome, and I just heard you say, scream Ginger Tigers on pole, and I just had to watch there, so I paused my calculations. So it was a very exciting last few seconds for me, at least.
I will let you calculate. Let me just go through the qualifying positions for the final time in 2025. Ginger Tiger's on pole, upsetting the apple cart with Ruddo alongside him on the front row. Pars and Berra are on row 2, with Clips and DXT Matty on 5 and 6. Nitrogash and Maras are in the top 8, with O'Steven and Madman getting inside the top 10. Best qualifying result in quite some time for Madman. JPH and Keza are in the point scoring positions, and it's Matty Rudd and IRC Bruce. The two Saubers are on row number 8, with Sir Spud and Kent on row 9. Back to you, Bjorn, with your calculations.
Yeah, so I will only say, because I've got a massive list here, that there is a very high chance the championship could be decided by a fastest lap point. Which is insane, first of all. Second of all, that means someone at the back can ruin someone's championship chances by pitting for softs on the final lap as well. That is also an indirect reference to Daniel Ricciardo, who does not have the track record anymore, but last year, never forget Daniel. I just want to say, Pars, he spun at the final turn, as you said. I just checked his lap times here. By sector 2, he was 7/10 up of his time. Not to take any of Ginger Tiger's honor away, of course, phenomenal lap, mate, well done. But that means it would have been he would have been 7/10 quicker than Ginger Tiger, which is a phenomenal lap.
It's tier 1 pace, that, isn't it, boys? The Pars should be with you next season.
Depends. If he's behind me, no problem. Yeah, as you said, I think where this could come into advantage, if a back marker potentially goes for a pit stop for the fastest lap, I think that'll suit more Pars, because the thing is, if this was the order in which we finished this race, with Ruddo in second and Pars in third, Pars would be champion.
Yeah.
If Pars finishes third, however Ruddo gets the fastest lap, then Ruddo is champion. But the thing is, let's be real, none of these two drivers are going to make a pit stop if they're going to lose positions for fastest lap, of course. But of course, Ruddo needs this fastest lap. So the thing is, Matty Rudd can't take that point away, whereas DXT Matty, on the other hand, can. So it favours more Red Bull if they want to play team games here, I'd say. But, we've got 31 laps to change the order, and it's very likely to do so. But that's what it would be like for now.
I'm just thinking to myself, because both of them are called Matty, but DXT Matty and Matty Rudd, they've both had one podium this season. You know, they're both capable of scoring some, you know, big points in the championship. You know, DXT Matty, he finished second back in Austria at round 4. It was his first appearance of the season. Matty had that podium position acquired in Azerbaijan 2 rounds ago. So, you know, they're both more than capable of being a joker in the pack for their own teammates. But when you're separated by such a small margin, I think those initial permutations, they'll just be looking to beat each other. They'll try and think about how can their teammates help them, I'd argue, later on in the race. Correct me if I'm wrong. No one corrected me. I'm going to assume I'm correct.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfectly summed up, realistically
Yeah.
speaking. But yeah,
It is one of those races, isn't it? It's just a safety car is so possible as well around here. I mean, that's going to be another thing. Would you, if you two were in this position, would you be thinking about a different strategy? If you were pars and you'd qualified third, would you be thinking of a slightly different strategy than what you'd initially planned with, or would that be overthinking it?
The problem is it's so close, because if Rudder doesn't get the fastest lap, then all realistically speaking Bowers needs to do is just stay behind him and take third place. But it is a very unknown territory, so we can't say. We realistically can't say. The problem is you bring up as well with the safety car. Would you take the stop? Would you not? The problem is timing. We could see a scenario in which one of these two runners makes a pit stop and a lap later a safety car comes out. That is so possible.
Yeah.
But these are the things that can make or break the race, and it can go in either direction. But that is part of racing and Formula One, and that's just not in your control, realistically speaking. But regardless, it's this is racing.
Well, I'm just having a look through the field. I know that Bjorn is busy calculating away. The top 8 drivers are all on the medium tyres. We wondered whether the team's championship in terms of Ferrari, Mercedes and Williams, whether their drivers would do anything different. Oh, Stephen, the only driver in the top 14 to take on the hard compound tyres, all the way down to, from Madman to Bruce, they're on the mediums, and then it's the 2 Saubers, Sir Spud and Kent, who have decided to take the hard white wool Pirelli compound tyre. So it's a little bit different for those 4 drivers at the back of the grid. They're going to be trying to go out longer. The game is suggesting a one-stop strategy, medium to hard, or a double medium hard stint. So we'll wait and see if anybody is brave enough to take that on. Bjorn, I know with your analytics and the data that you've got, is there any rain on the horizon, do you see?
It can't, for the next 30 minutes it looks clear, unfortunately.
We always like a bit of rain to spice it up, don't we?
Oh, rain in the last 10 minutes was really spicy this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, hards and mediums, the tyre, everyone wants to go on. Unfortunately, the poor old softs will not get any action for the start of the race. But this is the question now. If you are Ruddo or Part, do you risk making a move on the car ahead of you into turn 1? That is the important question. We'll find out.
We will indeed, as Kent pulls into his grid position in that Gulf-inspired livery. There he is, into position. So we are going to have 18 cars for the final round of the Championship of 2025. Season 22 is about to get underway. And the race is live for the final time here at Singapore. It looks like a good start from Ruddo, and that's exactly what he needs. Will he break a little bit later? He can't quite make it. A little bit of contact between the two, but Ginger Tiger retains the lead. Pars is behind Ruddo, hasn't been able to make a gap through, but Barrett is trying to attempt to go around the outside at turn 5. No, he backs completely out of it. Clips Kiri, there's movement everywhere else. Madman has gone round. He's had a little bit of a wobble and someone's hit the side of him. I think he's got a broken front wing end plate, as has Matty Rudd. So that is going to take one of the constructors down to just 50% of their cars in this opening stint. But it's as you were at the front, and Ruddo couldn't quite get past Ginger, who was not giving that up into turn 1.
Ginger Tiger said, nope, sorry about your championship. I'm fighting for this win, and fair on him. But at one moment, it looked like Rudder was going to get ahead of Ginger, or Pars was going to lose out to Berra. It really could have gone either way, but yeah, the main thing is they're all running without any damage, despite a little bit of contact, I think, from the Ferrari and Ginger Tiger, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it would have been. So there's a bit of pressure being applied to the Red Bull of Pars, because Barrett is really not letting him get away.
Do you see anything out there, Bjorn, on the opening laps? I know there's a couple of cars with damage.
Yeah, there's 3 cars with damage, and all of them have an impact on the championship. I'll start with DXT Matty. It's just a little tap. You shouldn't notice it all that much. Then, of course, like you said, Matty Rudd also with his end plate, but also don't believe it's gone noticed. Oh, Steven also has front wing damage, and that is crucial for the constructors.
Yeah, Steven getting caught up in that incident with Madman, who was sideways. So Madman, despite being the one getting tagged, has actually survived all of that in the opening lap. So he's got away with it. Matty, he's out. DXT Matty in the wall. Is that a full safety car? No, it's a VSC. Did you see that, ARL?
I just did. I think I saw Matty go around, then get collected. So either he lost it on the rear.
He lost it. I'm just watching the replay back. He lost it all by himself.
Yeah, it looked that way, and then just got collected by I think that would be the likes of potentially. It would have been maybe Maras in that territory.
Yeah,
or I think Maras, yeah. So Maras is missing that front left end plate, and that is not good news if you're Pars, in which, you know, Matty could have potentially been a helping hand if Ruddo had the fastest lap at the end of this race to try and steal that off him. But at the moment, Pars has no teammate to fight this one.
Can I say that Nitrogash, cat-like reflections to avoid that? I don't know how he avoided DXT Matty, but he got away with it, and the race resumes again after that. So we've already had one VSC, so ARL's flirting with a safety car happening now for his pre-race prediction. Madman trying to get past those Steven, who's still trying to hang on with that broken front wing, but I think the Racing Bull is going to get in front, and he does indeed. So Madman goes through and off the road. Here comes JPH for 8th position, and he gets through as well. Kent goes through, and Steven falling down the field thanks to that front wing damage. Can I just say though, Kent, what a start. Up 9 places from the back of the grid. He is helping out his team for this constructors fight. He's right in it.
100%, but this is the important move coming now. Rado going alongside Ginger Tiger for the lead. Someone's off. That's the Red Bull Pars.
Pars is off the road. Pars has gone off the road. Can you believe it? He's thrown it away. He's going to get back on the circuit. I think Lionel Greasby's going to go past him, and he's down to 12th. Unbelievable scenes. The championship leader has put it off the wall. Thank you, game, for not giving me the external camera. Bjorn, I don't know if you can see if he's got any damage, but he did look very close to the wall.
I'm just checking. There's so much going on. I can't even write my notes down for when I do have the chance to talk. So give me a moment. His front wing looks clear.
Yeah.
And his rear wing looks fine as well. But he did hit the wall pretty hard, so I'm quite surprised by that, as he's going for an overtake on Linus Greasby.
Yeah, this shouldn't be too difficult. Matty will not get in the way in the Sauber. He knows he's got a chance at a point, and he's going to try and run with that with his teammate behind him. What a story that could be. But he's got Mikey and Sir Spud having a fight over 12th place. But that all comes from the fact that Ruddo put that move on Ginger Tiger, and he goes and sets the new fastest lap of the race. Ruddo saw the move, and Pars was thinking, I've got to go for this too, and just ran deep. And is that the championship? Is that the critical moment in this race? Wow.
It's definitely one of the most critical moments in this championship fight than it's been at all. But, you know, it's never over until that checkered flag waves. And there's still a good chance.
Barrett's down the inside! Wow, I think he's going to have to let that one go. Yeah, and he does. Sorry, ARL.
Oh, no problem. Oh, that slipped Scary into the back of the Mercedes of Berra. I think his wing is somehow intact from that, but as there's the Aston Martin gets out of the way, but has he judged this poorly? Because now here comes Clip Scary. They're going to side by side contact, but the Aston Martin just stays ahead. And look at this. This is his teammate now. Nitro Gash into fourth. That's worked out a little bit nice for the Aston Martin duo.
And look at the gap. As a result of that, Berra's overtake. And that was a bit of a strange one, because I think Berra was too far back, let Ginger Tiger through. And then I think maybe Ginger's thought, oh, maybe I've done something wrong. And then has let the Mercedes go back through. And now Ruddo's almost got, well, he was over 2 seconds clear, but Berra has just decided to fire up the road after him, as JPH gets past Madman for 6th.
There's action everywhere you're looking.
Kent's trying to go for 7th.
My word, this is really shaking up to be quite a thrilling finale. But there's a nice little trio of cars with JPH, Madman and Kent here having a look at the McLaren. Not enough on this occasion. But Berra starting to close in a bit on Ruddo. The thing is now, this is advantage Ruddo, and surely Ruddo is not going to fight this too difficult.
No, you would think not, considering the ramifications of the title. If he were to defend too hard and he had contact with Berra, and then he'd be in Pars' position, who, speaking of, moves up into 10th place past IRC Bruce. Next car in front of him is, of course, the hobbled Mercedes of FRL O'Stephen, who is still circulating and isn't doing too badly, actually, O'Stephen. Now that he's got settled with the damage, he's just trying to drive around it. But I think it's going to be, as he runs deep at the old Singapore Sling, I think it's going to be a question of when rather than if, when the Red Bull gets around him.
Yeah, I mean, we know Paz, he's had many races where he starts outside where he realistically should be, and he's just clawed his way back up the field. So this is now an incredible recovery drive needed if he wants to salvage this championship. He's got the DRS to try and help with it. Is it enough? He's got the medium tyres compared to the hards. He's going to go side by side with O'Stephen there, wheel banging along here, sliding from the Red Bull. But is he ahead? No, he's not. He's going to go side by side again. There's a bit of contact, but this time Paz gets ahead of O'Stephen. But now O'Stephen's got DRS on the Red Bull. Now they go side by side once again. This is incredible. But Paz just stays ahead.
Take a breather. Because Paz has just put in a sequence of corners that he wouldn't have wanted to have done with O'Stephen, but he has got another spot back, so he dropped to 12th. He's now up to 9th, and his next car in front is going to be Kent, who's fighting away with Madman, whose quadruple whiskey situation, don't drink and drive, ladies and gentlemen, is working out rather well for him. It's turned him into a little bit of an, I was going to say Adrian Sutil, but that would be quite mean. But Madman in 7th place currently and having a great fight with the Williams behind him. Jordan in a Williams sandwich. He had a great qualifying, the best I've seen from him all of season 22. The Tier 1 commentator in 6th place. Just to give you a bit of context of the race so far, and I spoke too soon and gave Madman the commentator's curses. He's gone in the wall on the Anderson Bridge, and I'm going to look to hope that we've got potentially a alternative angle to see his car. Has he got damage? Doesn't look like it.
I think he's a bit lucky on that instance. I think he's clear of any damage, and he is visibly speaking, but now he's got the likes of Lionel Greasby having a little bit of a look, but not enough for him. I love how you say, take a breather, we're only on lap 7. Oh, this is going to be one interesting race, as now the two Aston Martins have the likes of Klipskiri just flirting with the DRS range, and in fact now in the DRS range.
Yeah, the two Aston Martins are quite close, but I don't think Nitro will try anything stupid on his teammate. These two get on quite well, and I know that the two Aston Martin drivers will be sensible about it, but Berra now 3 seconds away from Ruddo. We've got a yellow flag out there for Keza, who'd spun at the final corner. Doesn't look to be any damage on the Racing Bull, as Madman and IRC Bruce were fighting over a spot inside the top 10. Over to our technical correspondent, Bjorn Chandok de Bjorn. Bjorn, how's things? What are you seeing?
Well, first of all, it's going to be a long story, so buckle your seatbelt. All the way on lap 2, we saw DXT Mati unfortunately spin and retire from the race. I was on board with him on by pure accident for the whole of lap 2 and a little bit of lap 1. He was sliding all over the place, and he said himself in the Discord, "Sorry to ever got caught in my spin, my force feedback went, and it felt like the car was on ice." So unfortunately something that he cannot do anything about. Next up, Matty Rod in the Ferrari. On the first virtual safety car restart, I was on board with him also by pure coincidence, and I feel like he got a bit surprised that it suddenly went green again, because he went on the throttle mid-corner, realized that's not a smart idea, locked up and hit the wall, and got damage again. And Steven, of course, we already know he had damage, put actually up a brilliant defense from Pars, as he was losing more than a second a lap. So I think he did a brilliant job of keeping Pars behind as much as he could. Thanks for listening.
Well, with that update for everybody, just to give you some context of what else is happening in the race at the moment, Ruddo leading the charge. He's 3.6 seconds clear. That's Madman and Bruce side by side at turn 8. Follow each other through turn 9. Lionel Greasby in the shadow of all of this. And Sir Spud, ladies and gentlemen, is also in the shadow of all of this. I'm going to come away from Sir Spud and not mention anything about him, because that would be... I've already cursed one driver in the form of Madman. I do not want to do it to anybody else. So, nice fight, though, Foreman, for this 10th place, ARL.
Yeah, no, it is really shaping out to be quite a thrill. In fact, as much as we say we don't want to mention his name, so Spud, he's closing in on this fight, so could be 4 cars for this top 10 shootout, as Lionel Greasby having a look. No, a little bit too far back. But I do want to say Pars, 14.2 seconds off the leader, and of course his championship contender. Question is here now, if Ruddo does a 2-stopper, is Pars' only saving grace potentially trying the 1?
I'm just going to come back to that. Kent very close to JPH, but not close enough. So Kent's miracle charge from the back of the grid has got him behind JPH. And just I'm going to talk about the tyre situation in just a moment, because I'm feeling that the hards are starting to come into their own now as Bruce looks at Madman again. But Lionel Greasby and Sir Spud behind, also on the hard tyres. So those two going to be in a better position right now. But your question about Pars, personally, there's a yellow flag out there, and I bet you that's Mikey. Looks like it is, and there's a safety car. Well, Mikey RK13 this season, ladies and gentlemen, has caused more safety cars than any other driver. And he's done it again. Kez has had to let him back through because of an illegal overtake. It wasn't. Mikey was in the wall. And the safety car has come out. And Ruddo's in the pits. So, sorry about your question, ARL. It's all turned on its head.
Yeah, I think this is now a golden opportunity if you're running the medium tires to get off them.
Nitro's carried on.
That? Nitro stays out, right. So this is... I want to see what his Par's going to do. Surely he comes in on those medium tires, and he does. So I think pretty much even drivers that are currently on the hard set are even coming in. Yes, they are. So an outlier of Nitro Gas at the moment, well, an Aston Martin 1-2 if you include the safety car. Not bad, but interesting to see where this strategy will go. Of course, it allows him to basically cool down the tyres again and extend the stint. So surely by him staying out, this is pointing towards a one-stopper, I'd imagine.
Well, I was going to talk a little bit, until the safety car came out, I was going to talk a little bit about how the hard tyres at this point in the race would be starting to form their own, positive momentum compared to the mediums, which would be on a downhill trajectory. So for everybody to come into the pits, I mean, between the two of yous, can the hard tyres do 21 laps, 20 laps?
We didn't really get the running yesterday, so
no.
It's difficult to judge, but just from knowing how high the tyre wear was, I would say absolutely not. If there's another VSC that can help, bring... The problem is the rears start to cry out for help because you slide more, then more temperature builds up, and then by getting more temperature, then again it slides, and then you're stuck in this cycle. So by having just a VSC can really allow you to get back into a nice, comfortable phase. So it's a challenging ask, but I would say no.
I would say yes, but I doubt it's quicker. Because what I've noticed while I was practicing for the race for yesterday is that the tire wear is pretty low, surprisingly, on Singapore. But the tires are just slow when they get older. It's not that the tires don't last long, they just get slower. It's like you're on a new version of even a harder compound. So I think they can make it to the end, but I don't know if it's the correct decision. It just depends if the people who are in front of you when you do your last pit stop will be nice and not put up a massive fight.
Well, we have got a bunch of drivers who seem to think otherwise. One driver who didn't pit actually during that stint, not just Nitrocrash, but Matty Rudd as well. So he's actually put himself right behind Pars. And I know that Matty, if he gets a sniff, will try and send one down the inside of the Red Bull. You'd imagine that's going to be a tall order considering the deficit of degradation on the tyres on the two. But we will see what he is like at the restart. We've still got drivers just on the main start-finish straight at the moment, which is Mikey. So I imagine this safety car is going to be out until possibly lap 12. A couple of questions and comments that have come in so far. Hello to Jake Shaw. Hi to you, sir. Hope you're doing okay. Good to see you for this evening. Tristan has asked the question. It's going crazy for the last race of the season. He's asking how it's been so far and what are your predictions. I'm just going to say, gents, I wasn't the one who said it. I didn't ask you.
What are you implying there?
Well, I would answer the first question in, how has this race been so far in one word?
I'd say Singapore. Nothing else but Singapore.
Bjorn in one word?
Cinematic.
I like that.
This could be added to one of the F1 movie races for all I'm seeing.
Mikey RK Hayes in 17th place there, bringing out another safety car. I'm sure he'd be delighted to hear about that. Of course, Mikey RK13, for those that are new to the channel, there are a couple of you in tonight, which is lovely to see. Mikey, the director of Invictus Racing League, he's had a bit of a torrid season, to be honest with you. But he is still circulating, despite bringing out the safety car, as we move on to lap 12. And he's yet to score a point in the championship. Still an opportunity for another safety car. ARL's pre-race prediction of there being one VSC and one safety car has come to fruition. So if you're betting the house at Vegas a couple of weeks ago, right now, ARL, you're going to be going home with the jackpot.
Oh, that'd be nice going into Christmas Eve. I wish I would have put a bit of money down, but anyway, there's only so much you can do. But no, it's only lap 11, well, lap 12 now. We should get going underway this lap, I imagine. But from what this first 12 laps have showed us is absolutely anything can happen. It really can happen, and you know, it only takes one lap to completely unfold.
Yeah. I'm just thinking this is an idea that I've got in my head. If I was in Nitrogash's position, he's going to go on to lap 13. Would you, if I was him, and this is what I would do, I would try and take those medium tyres till lap 16, lap 17, and one stop to the hards to the end of this race. Do you think that's a sensible idea?
I think naturally you do more of the stint on the harder tyre. Obviously that's what it's designed for, so I think you could actually come in a little bit earlier, maybe 15, maybe 14. The thing is, this is going to be very difficult. He's on mediums compared to the hards, which in theory should warm up better, but they're 12 laps old. They're going to be absolutely knackered. But we'll find out now as he waits for the safety car to pull into the pits.
He's gone.
And he's gone.
And that was a nice enough restart from Nitro, but I know that Rudder will want to get on with it, and he slid out of the final corner, did Nitro. And this is going to promote an opportunity for Rudder up to the inside at turn 1, and that's a move back into the race lead for the Ferrari. He gets in front, and now Berra is going to be the next driver to put his attentions to. And Nitro, I feel, is doing his utmost to try and hang on, but Berra, I think, is going to come through pretty sharpish. He's on the battery already. Ginger Tiger not too far away. Clips had a poor restart, by the way. He actually lost the group, but Berra to the inside of the Aston Martin and just about giving each other enough room. Although Berra is going to try and fling it down the inside at turn 7. That's going to end in an accident if they don't back out of it, and thankfully Berra did. But now Clips, despite having that poor restart, is all over the rear of the Aston Martin, so the pendulum swinging whichever way it wants.
And here goes Berra, this side by side still! And the Mercedes of Berra slams into the wall, and that's front wing damage on the left hand side. And that's not going to end up well for him as well on the hard tyre. So he's planning to go long here, but that's going to ruin that plan. Now look at the other Aston Martin. He's in a fight. Ginger Tiger's got the Williams of Klipskiri right on the gearbox, but Klipskiri just doesn't have enough to get through. But DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap, or next lap I should say.
Anything that you saw, Bjorn, out there?
Well, I'm just realizing this is a brilliant team play from Nitrogas and Aston Martin to bring Ginger Tiger up into the podium positions. But I just want to say, Jack, didn't you promise us you were going to give us a prediction for the final round of the race?
If I did, I can't remember. You want my prediction for this race? I'll give you the prediction right now. It's not over yet. It will all be decided on lap 31. That's my prediction. Ruddo, 3.5 seconds clear up the road. Berra is going to try and attack Nitro again, who goes extremely defensive into the corner, but there's nothing he can do about that overspeed. And Ginger trying to go past his teammate, but his teammate did not make that easy for him. He's got it wrong. Ginger Tiger runs into the back of Berra. That's a broken front wing. Well, I don't really know what happened to Ginger Tiger, but he's got Klipskiri on the inside of him. There's a broken front wing end plate. Clips is trying to go through, but he can't quite make it. And that is two cars inside the podium spot fighting positions who've got damaged front wings. And Klipskiri and JPH must be thinking, hang on, boys, there might be a podium here.
Absolutely mental scenes as, oh, that's Paz trying to have a look on Kent. But this is now more about staying out of trouble. This needs to, as Stephen actually sends it, on Matty Rudd. So close, but he just gets that done. But oh my god, this is incredible. Now Madman having a look on Matty Rudd. Has he got enough? He does. Matty Rudd has to back off. Doesn't have the performances. Now Matty Rudd. Oh, collision between the two. But
here comes Bruce. And Klipskiri's got past Ginger. It's all kicking off, but Ginger's gone down to 5th place. JPH is trying to look at him as well. The Aston Martin of Nitro is sliding all over the road in 3rd place. He's acting like a freight train in terms of he's delivering a classic performance of how to defend on medium tyres. Then a holding clips goes around the outside. My goodness me, that's one of the best overtakes I've seen this season on the outside at turn 5. The two Aston Martins are side by side now. Ginger gets through on Nitro, who made that a little bit more easily than I think he realised, really. But goodness me, you can't take your eyes off it, and Nitro goes into the wall. JPH now alongside, trying to find a way through, but he can't. I'm going to take over. I'm going to let RL take over.
Pars in the background, going deep into Kento. Contact. I don't think there's any wing damage, but this is incredible. This is really kicking off. But like I said, the drivers need to be careful here. It's so close to ending.
Oh, here we go.
Now Pars gets a much better drive, gets the place. And what about JPH on Nitro Gas? He's got the better drive, but here comes the Aston Martin. He's still fighting it around, but you'd imagine the new hard tyres are much better, and he should get the drive as it's a VSC.
Whoa, VSC. This contact is in the background. Oh my god, Pars braked and Kent nearly ran into the back of him. That was unbelievable. JPH crucially got in front, and who's that going into the pits? Is that Berra? It is. Mercedes of Berra dives into the pits to sort that front wing out. So whilst that was going on, Ruddo was 8 seconds clear of Klipskiri. Ginger's in 3rd. Kez has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC and the 3-second time penalty for track limits. It's all kicking off and he's retired from the race. JPH is 4th. Pars is up to 5th place. That is critical for this race, ladies and gentlemen, as he has to slam on the anchors. Kent is up to 6th. Madman's in 7th. IRC Bruce 8th. Ladies and gentlemen, Lion of Greaseby's in 9th position. Spuds in the points, as is Mikey RK 13. Then it's Maras, and everybody else behind those guys have just had to go into the pits. That is your recap of the last 3 laps of action. And let me tell you, the safety car's on track now. We've got another safety car.
Right, here's your, special edition meditating to the Formula 1. Breathe in and breathe out. Because I don't know what we've just watched in this first half of the Grand Prix, but to realise that we've got another half to go. Oh, I wish I had some popcorn. I mean, if you're watching at home, this is your time to go get some popcorn, because my word, this is, whew.
Just going to have a breather. Hello to a couple of guys who are in the chat. Charles Leclerc is him. Hello to you, if it is Mr. Charlie. Hope you're doing okay. J. Ray Bay saying, come on, guys, keep up with the action. Oh, come on, J. Ray. We need you to be in on the action next season. We've missed you in this championship. I want you signed up for season 23, which we'll talk about later on, because there's been so much to disclose so far. Bjorn, whilst all that was kicking off and you were able to, well, you weren't talking, so you had a chance to breathe, but I'm sure you were scribbling your notes furiously as Ginger Tiger pits for a new front wing. Take a picture, ladies and gentlemen. IRC JPH 99 is on for a podium position. We are yet to cross the 2/3 distance of this race, but that is a sight for sore eyes. It puts Pars into 4th, Kent into 5th, Madman into 6th. Somehow Lion of Greaseby is 8th, so Spud's in the top 10. Mikey's going to be 11th, but he's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC. Then the two Aston Martins are further back. So Berra's now going to go to 13th place, but he's got medium tyres, which should go to the end, I think. Will he get out in front of Ginger Tiger? This is going to be close on the line. I think he did. By mere hundredths of a second, Berra has beat Ginger Tiger out. That's important for Berra's race, because he can come back through the field. And now I can get back to Bjorn, and hopefully, Bjorn, you'll be able to pick up with what you've seen and what you've been scribbling down.
Well, I must say, first of all, for the first time in my history of commentating a race, I've had to go to a new page, and we're just over halfway of the race. We, I mean, I didn't see what actually caused the safety car, besides a 10-second time penalty for Maris, which got served. But I think it was something to do with Keza as well, as Keza's just admitted in the Discord. That's just awful. What am I doing? So I believe there was some avoidable collision somewhere there. Now this has revived Pars's chance of the championship. Keep that in mind. We thought around 10 laps ago that it was almost over because Rado had a few seconds in the lead and Pars was battling for P11. But now the gap between Pars and Rado is just over a second, and we are under a safety car. So anything can still happen. And I must say, I'm having a great time watching all of this.
I mean, I think everybody is at the moment. I mean, this has been... I've talked before about the racing being frenetic in Invictus Racing League, but maybe it's the Christmas excitement, but they've took it up another notch in Tier 2 tonight. They have put on a show of chaos on Christmas Eve, if you'd like to refer to it like that moving forward, on the 23rd of December 2025. But there are other narratives going on here that we've not yet discussed whilst the safety car's out. JPH up 8 spots, Kent up 13, Bruce up 7, Lionel Greasby up 7, so Spud up 7, Mikey RK 13, he's up 5 at the moment. He will slide down, unfortunately, thanks to the safety car infringement penalty that he's going to have to serve with that drive-through. Whilst all that was going on, Matty Rudd is still on the same set of tyres that he started the race with. He is the only driver in the field yet to make a pit stop. He also has a broken front wing end plate in 9th position. He's been up and down like a yo-yo in this race, but I am assuming he's staying out just to try and support his teammates' championship ambitions. You've got Berra, Ginger, O-Steve and Nitrogash all on fresher tyres than everybody else. The safety car is going to be in on this lap, and Clips Kiri will be the driver this time, responding to Ruddo, who's got the lead.
Well, thank you for letting me know that, Bjorn. I know what to get you. A new notebook
Bjorn!
For...
Look at this. Pars has got a 10-second time penalty. I shouted Bjorn out because I thought, did he see what happened? He's got a 10-second time penalty, Pars.
I did see what's happening. What happened, Kent and Pars, they kind of scrambled for position while there were yellow flags, so either one of them had to give it back. But anyways, Ruddo's gone, and Clips Kiri is not close enough for an overtake, but JPH is kind of caught napping here. But that is massive disappointing news for Pars again.
Oh, when the championship wants to swing one way or the other, it doesn't know where to pick. But Clips and Rudder were out, they were sideways coming out of the third to last corner, and they're still scrambling for grip. And Kent's going to go past Pars. Pars trying to dig underneath him. That Red Bull is trying to go alongside. It's going to have to switch to the other side, but I think Kent's going to have the overspeed on this Red Bull here, and he moves up to 4th. This is an astonishing drive through the field from the Williams, but Pars is not going to give it up. He's going to go diving. They're going to make contact, and I'm sure that Kent won't be pleased about that, and DJ Madman moves up to 5th place.
The fact that Pars is still going around, he nearly lost it out of turn 3. That car was nearly sideways out of that corner, but he's kept it going. But that's I don't imagine Kent is going to take that lightly.
No.
So that's, yeah, this I mean, at the moment it's advantage Ruddo, but if by some means Ruddo loses out to Pars in this race, I would still imagine that it could be decided after with the stewards, because you just don't know where to look at this point.
The thing is, as well, is he's got that 10-second time penalty that he's going to have to deal with during the course of this race as Berra moves up to 11th past Maras. But Pars is now trying to attack JPH. DRS enabled on this lap. And let's not forget, JPH and Clips, they don't have DRS on anybody. Pars is comfortably, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, quicker than the two in front of him, as saw in his qualifying efforts as Pera now gets past Spud for 10th place. The Mercedes climbing back through the field. I'm on board with the Red Bull as we exit turn 5. A nice clean exit from him. He's going to be in the slipstream. He's got DRS wide open, and that white liveried Red Bull is going to squeeze on through into third position as Kent re-overtakes DJ Madman for a spot inside the top 5. And Berra is now trying to get past Matty Rudd into turn number... Oh, there's going to be contact, and that's in the wall for the red Ferrari. O'Stephen avoids it, and Sir Spud nips into 9th place. So O'Stephen managed to avoid that contact, and Matty Rudd won't be happy. He'll be back in the steward's office as the Aston Martins try and fight their way through. Maras is back on for a point-scoring position. I don't really know how she's managed that, considering a couple of laps ago she was in 16th, but there we are. But she's also missing a front wing end plate. This has become carnage.
This has just become Singapore turn to that one word question. But O'Stephen ran into the back of his teammate Berra into turn 10. O'Stephen now has front wing damage on the right hand side. That's not going to help, as now Maris has to defend from Ginger Tiger. Oh my god, this is just incredible scenes here, as now Ken is quite close on the back of the McLaren, but he's too far. Who's that in the background? Just having off. Oh, that's the Mercedes of Berra going down the inside onto Spud. He gets the move, nicely done, but ran a little bit wide with track limits, but that's going to hold us. Liner Griesby really putting on a bit of a drift show.
That is, I mean, Lionel Griesby's doing his absolute utmost to try and hang on to a really good point-scoring position. Kent goes through for 4th place, by the way. I'm watching Berra, who is absolutely cycling his way through the field. That looked a little bit of unnecessary contact from Berra, but Lionel Griesby's all over the road. He's struggling with rear traction on those medium tyres that have done 11 laps, of course, affected by the safety cars that we've had in this race, but he just has no grip. But this is now causing a massive queue of cars to form behind the lime green Sauber. He's got Sir Spud, he's got O'Stephen, he's got the two Aston Martins, and Maras, who was 12th a moment ago, is now 14th. There is a sextet of cars fighting over 9th place, and Sir Spud is one of them.
I don't know if you chaps know that meme where there's a plane trying to get out of all havocs in the background. That is exactly what's happening with Ruddo.
Oh my god, here we go. Sorry, O'Stephen's just gone past Sir Spud, and he's going to try and go past Lionel Griesby. That's very, very tight. There's some questionable moves going on, but O'Stephen's got through on the Sauber. So Spud manages to fend off Ginger Tiger, and Lionel Griesby going into the pits. Those tyres are run and done.
They're finished. Absolutely finished. Here's Ginger Tiger, though, on the Alpine of Sir Spud. Does he have enough into turn 1? He does. Gets the move done and dusted. Oh, the Alpine nearly collecting the Aston Martin. But now Ginger Tiger will get a helping hand of DRS, but there is Pars through and ahead of Klipskiri. So,
oh, he's in the wall! Whoa. Ginger Tiger's in the wall at turn 5, and that's a VSC. So there's two VSCs, and that just brings a breather back to the action. But that was such an important move from Pars to do it then. Just got ahead of Klipskiri before the VSC came out. Ginger Tiger dropped it on the exit. He's got a broken front wing, and at this point in the race, you never know, JPH might end up winning it.
Oh, anything's possible. Absolutely anything is possible. Oh my god, all I'll say is Santa came early. Christmas has arrived early, because this has been a hell of a race. All I'll ask though for the Invictus directors, please hold a Singapore race on the 23rd of December every year. That's my wish. Thank you very much.
We'll contact Mikey for that after the race, who's still circulating, by the way, in 16th position. The two Williamses are third and fourth. This is important for the constructors' fight. Let's not forget those two are fighting hard. But is that Kent in the pits? It is. Oh, and he's done it at the wrong time. Kent comes into the pits. But if my logic serves me correctly, I think Kent had to pit because he started on hard tyres anyway. So he's had to make his mandatory pit stop. He's just missed out. So Spud and Maras are in the pits too.
You're right, Kent did start on the hard, so he had to pit again. So that's why. But he will be on significantly fresher and faster tyres, so I expect him to be coming up through the field quite quickly.
Bjorn, I'm going to let you come in because you've been... I mean, you're probably onto a third page of notes now.
Almost. Ginger Tiger's gone to softs. I have no clue if that is a strategic error or that's on purpose, but we'll come back to that later. Bruce is in a fantastic position as well. We've only talked about the other McLaren, but both McLarens are doing a fantastic race. And Bruce also got in front of DJ Madman right before the virtual safety car went out. I believe they were still alongside on the straight, so that is perfect for them as Matty Rudd picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now, who just pitted again? Excuse me. It was Sir Spud and Kent. Yeah, Kent.
Yeah.
Kent is the one I wanted to talk about. I'm not sure if those hards will make it to the end. Of everyone in the top 6. Keep in mind there were a few laps on their full yellows, but it's still a very long way for those hards. So
oh, wow! Where did that come from Berra? Sorry to interrupt you, Bjorn, but I think he just got it wrong and almost caused the mother and a father of an accident between Madman and himself. But Berra is desperate to get on with it. Back to you, Bjorn.
I just want to see this replay, and oh yeah, I've just seen it. Okay, that I see why you had to interrupt there. But as I was saying, I think this might have been a smart strategic decision by both Kent and Sir Spud, who's in P12. That is a point.
Nitrogash and O'Stephen are side by side, two drivers who don't like giving each other racing room because they don't like fighting one another. O'Stephen's on the inside at turn 10 and he sensibly backs out of that one, almost runs off the road and into the wall. So we've got effectively two races going on at the moment. The top two are 4 seconds clear of Clips, Kiri and of themselves. Then the second race starts with JPH leading a pack effectively a couple of seconds apart all the way down to O'Stephen. And then the third fight is Lionel Griesby in front of Sir Spud, in front of Maras, in front of Matty Rudd, who are all trying to score points, but they've all got time penalties, bar Lionel Griesby, with 7 laps to go. The other critical part of this race that I haven't mentioned yet, Pars is 5 seconds clear as Berra finally gets past Madman. But if Pars can get that time penalty, well, can get 10 seconds clear of Clips, then we start moving into the phase of the race of, and there you go, as Kent sets fastest lap. Does he have enough time to get into the pits? And Bruce has gone round. So we talked about him and praised him, and he's just dropped to 9th.
Oh, what a shame. The McLaren duo were running really nicely. That could have ended the season in a quite comfortable way. But yeah, that's not gone well. I think crucially for Pars, I want to just get that out there, is we don't know exactly how he picked up that 10-second penalty with overtaking. So he crucially doesn't want to pit, because if he can get that removed, let's say he finishes ahead of Ruddo, he doesn't want to get that penalty served in a pit, so he has to stay out. He's closing the gap slowly, but it's we don't know, with Stewart's inquiries and all that coming after it could go either way, but at the moment he is slightly catching Ruddo. In fact, actually this lap I think Ruddo's actually pulled 1/10 back.
I will say this much, as it stands, Ruddo is champion.
As it stands, yes. But as we've seen, as it stands, can last for literally 10 seconds and completely unravel.
It's unbelievably close out there at the moment. You've got Clips now. He's going to fall outside of 10 seconds from Pars, but he's on his way to what looks like to be a podium for him this season, which would be a really positive result for Clips, because he's had a tough season in that Williams. He's not had the high points he's capable of as Nitrogash moves past Madman on those fresher medium compound tyres. So Stephen, the next driver, trying to get up to Madman at the moment as Matty Rudd works his way past Sir Spud, but then Sir Spud goes back through, and now they're both off the road, and Sir Spud has dropped to 14th. So, I mean, you really can't call it at the moment. So it's just, all I can hear is Bjorn just ripping his notes up and getting a full parchment of paper out and sorting everything out through that.
Yeah, I just want to make the comment that Kent has the fastest lap as it stands. So Kent's misses could decide the championship here in the Invictus Racing League. Keep that in mind. If he keeps the fastest lap.
It's absolutely unbelievable tonight. The action that we've seen has been on another scale compared to what we typically do. Berra's comeback drive has brought him up to JPH. He has a little wiggle midway through turn 18 and 19, but he's survived that for the time being. But you feel that Berra is going to get up to JPH and overtake him on the DRS straight between turns 5 and 7. Pars down underneath 3 seconds. He's going to have to find just that little bit more time to take back the crown. Berra's going to have DRS, but looks like he's quite a distance away from JPH, but he's catching him like an absolute super boat, and he goes through into 4th place. And does Berra have enough time to catch Clips? Because it's not over yet, as his teammate goes past Madman for 7th.
Oh, the thing is, those mediums are a few laps fresher, but I still would not want to be on the mediums for the next remaining few laps. But as saying that, 5 laps to go of the race, 5 laps to go of the season, 5 laps to go for the final race in 2025.
Oh, we've lost Maras. That's not ideal. Mid-corner as Ginger Tiger overtakes her. This is the situation at the back of the field. So Lionel Griesby's got a train of cars behind him involving Matty Rudser, Spud, Ginger Tiger, and the now ghosted Maras. I will re-invite Maras into the lobby, providing that she has not disappeared offline. No, she hasn't. So there we go. She's got an invite. She should be able to retake control of the Haas, but it looks like she's going to finish outside of the points. Ginger's trying to recover up to the points. So Spud is so close to a point scoring position, but he's not yet quite there. That's a key point to talk about in a moment's time. But right now, that's the closest fight on track. I know JPH is close to Berra, but there's points on here. And Lionel Griesby and Matty Rudd have got the last 3 on offer.
This is important now on the penalty scenario, both having 3 seconds, but it's so important not to run that a little bit wide, as here comes May Rudd having a look on the inside of Lionel Griesby, gets the move done and dusted nicely through there. But sometimes you might say that's actually not the best option, because now Lionel Griesby, he's going to get one massive long toe and helping out the DRS all the way through turn 6.
And he gets a time penalty, and that just brings him right back into status quo. He does have the DRS though, like you were saying, ARL. He's got so much more battery to use than Matty Rudd, and he's going to get his 11th place back. So you called it right there, ARL, then.
Oh, I just had a little bit of an onboard with Pars sliding his way through 2.9, the gap to Ruddo. It's not over, but I think it's a lot of work if he wants any chance in this fight. As Pars now gets a penalty, and now as well, just having a look on Bruce and Kent fighting. Kent gets through in the head, and that should be done and dusted. I'm surprised Kent has actually not cleared the cars as fast as I would have anticipated, but that just shows how much the traffic really hinders your progress. Those 5-lap mediums are going to be so much quicker, but just the traffic slows you down.
Do you know what also didn't help Kent was the fact when he pitted earlier, as we have a yellow flag out there, as Matty Rudd had a really awkward line through the final chicane there. What didn't help Kent was that when he pitted, he was in between the two gaps of Bruce and Lionel Griesby. He was about 11 seconds off the field. So he's done a cracking job to get to where he is, but he's going to have to find a way past Madman, and he's going to try and go around the outside rear, locking into turn 7. Just about gathers it all together, but he could still catch O'Stephen here. He's 3 seconds away from him, but with that tyre offset, he should be able to catch up. Bjorn, what have you been seeing, friend?
I have not took my eyes away from the onboard camera of the leading Ferrari here. He's taking it very carefully, does not want to make any mistake here. And we've only 2 laps to go now for the championship. It's going down to the wire, and I think this has been the most exciting finale I've ever seen.
It was. One of the best we've seen in such a long time as Kent fires his way past the Racing Bull. He's got 4 seconds to make up on FRLO Stephen as he slivers his way out of turn 17. Well. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. Ruddo still leads, taking it cautiously from Pars, who does have that time penalty to contend with now, so even if he gets the 10 seconds clear, it's going to come down to a mistake from our race leader and champion-elect. Clips is in 3rd. He is being hunted down by Berra, who's not shook JPH from him. Those medium tyres are causing some grief, and Matty Rudd is into... Well, I was going to say he's into the wall, but he's not. He's got away with it. So that puts Lionel Griesby 1.5 seconds clear as Spud, who's 1.5 seconds clear of Ginger Tiger, but Ginger Tiger doesn't have a time penalty. It's going to come down to whether Spud gets another point in his consecutive runs of seasons of having points. Nail biting stuff.
Oh my word, it's not ended since it started, has it? But, oh wow, this is 2 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Gap 1.9, as I say, 2 laps to go. Ruddo starts the final lap of the season. He's got a charging Red Bull, though, in his wing mirrors, but I'm sure Ruddo's going to take this nice and easy. 1 more lap to go, 5 kilometres, and he's just got to bring this home.
Well, it has been an unbelievable season. It's still not over because Lionel Griesby's now less than a second clear as Spud, and JPH has done a cracking job to hang on to the back of NSX Berra. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this fight between the McLaren and the Mercedes, but JPH just has no traction on those 21 lap old hard tyres. How they've hung on to this point, I don't know. Berra's trying to hang on to it too, but he should be clear enough. But Clips is struggling. That gap's come right down. So this isn't over for the fight for the podium. Those guys 20 seconds away from the leading duo, and Ruddo is just trying to make it to the end. He's got a couple of corners to go. Pars is 1.5 away, but Ruddo just has to go through the gears at this right-hander, which he does so. He's got one last braking zone to become Season 22 Tier 2 champion. He's had a number of race victories at Austria and at Italy, and despite the foibles he's had through the season, he's going to take the crown. It's Ruddo 24 who is your Tier 2 champion at Invictus Racing League. Pars will finish second in the end. Clips is just about trying to hang on to the back of it. Will Berra go for a lunge at the final braking zone? They're going to go for it side by side. Contact between the two. But Clips is hanging on. He's got no traction whatsoever in that Williams. He's trying to fight it. He's trying to hang on. And the Williams is just going to make it through the final corner. Berra 4th. Jordan in 5th. Great result for the McLaren. Nitro in 6th place. Kent has fired up to 7th after all of that. Madman's going to get a great result. A brilliant race from him this evening with O'Stephen in 9th place, who went backwards on the final lap. Bruce is 10th. And I'm just looking to see here, Lionel Griesby's just going to hang on. And Sir Spud's attempt is going to cost him a point as he slams into the wall and loses that front wing. And Lionel Griesby, I don't even think he's going to take 11th, actually, when Sir Spud hits the wall and retires on the final lap. Ginger Tiger is going to finish in 11th place. Oh, wow, what an unbelievable final race of the championship. But Ruddo 24 is your champion.
Take a bow. Take a bow. What a way to end off the season. He's been absolutely clean and clinical tonight. In all chaos that's been happening behind him and the circumstances of having to make these important overtakes, he's done everything he needed to do, and well deserved.
Let me just go through this situation on the screen. Ruddo, your race winner and season 22 tier 2 champion. Ginger Tiger snatching the fastest lap of the race. Driver of the day going away at Kent. Nitro making the most overtakes. And I see Bruce being the cleanest driver despite having a spin. But this is your provisional results. Ruddo 24, the race winner. Pars in second with Clips in third position. Berra and JPH in the top 5. Nitro, Kent and Madman inside 6, 7 and 8. O'Stephen and Bruce in the top 10. Those 10 within a minute of the race leader, with Ginger, Lionel Griesby scoring the last points of the season. Matty Rudd finishes in 13th place. So Spud, despite crashing out, classified in front of Mikey RK13 and Maras, who are a lap down, and Keza and DXT Matty retiring from the session. What a finale.
It could not have been written any better. What a way to... I'm disappointed to end the season after that. I can't lie. Yeah, it's been a blast for all three of us, I'm sure. I know, Bjorn, that would have been... I don't know how you would have done all those calculations, I'll be frankly honest with you, but I'm glad you're the one doing it and not me, because you'd have some numbers that would be in the wrong way around. So yeah, but I think me and Jack owe you maybe 2 or 3 notebooks after today's race.
Well, yeah, I can tell you, I've got it's a long one, this one. First time ever I've used more than one page, so I'm gonna have to adjust my layout here. But yeah, what a fantastic season, and I really enjoyed this one with both you guys in the commentary box. So I just want to say thank you for you two, and thank you for everyone in the chat as well for following our journey.
Well, I mean, that was fabulous to watch. Difficult to commentate on, but who cares when you're having such a good time out there. There was so much action, but the one driver who did exactly what he needed to do without any problems on the track, no mistakes, no contact with anybody, Ruddo 24 got the lead, and once he had hold of it, didn't let it go once. He's had an outstanding season. To win it on races won this season, not points, he's got the same number of points as Pars, but to win it on the amount of races he's got under his belt, 3 victories compared to Pars' 2, that is the difference in the championship overall. What a finale that was. I mean, I'm going to come over to you two. I will ask you one last question before we round off for 2025 at Invictus Racing League, would you believe? I've got a little thing I want to say as well after you two have spoken. But what has been your favourite moment from this season? What has been maybe your favourite race, your favourite overtake, or maybe it was just the good times that were had along the way? What are you thinking, gents?
You don't like to make it easy.
No, I never do.
The thing is, it sounds so obvious if I said tonight's race on just how chaotic it's been. But I think, genuinely speaking, just the overall season as a whole, being able to witness, all this amazing action, season long with you chaps as well. It's just been great fun, week in, week out. It's just a pleasure to be joined by you too. So yeah, no, I don't think I could say one specific race, just the entire season.
Got nothing to add to that one. It's been a great ride, and I cannot pick a moment for the question. But yeah, this race was absolutely phenomenal, especially the first 25 laps only or so. So yeah, if I had to choose a Grand Prix from this season, it'd definitely be this one. But a moment, that's too hard of a question. So I can't answer that one. But yeah, again, I really enjoyed my time in the commentary box with you two as well.
It has been a phenomenal season at Invictus Racing League. I think if I were to pick out one of the standout moments of the season was seeing Mikey RK13 roll it in the sprint at Monza. You don't see that very often, to be honest with you. I'm being mean because Mikey is the director of IRL, of course. But I just want to say for everybody, and as part of the management team that I am here with Invictus, it's been one heck of a year for us as a group. When you think back to the way IRL was going at one point earlier in the year, it looked like we were going to be defunct. And it seemed as if that partway through 2025 we weren't going to have any leagues. We were down to just one tier effectively at season 20. But thanks to a lot of learning along the way, it has to be said, from Mikey, from myself, from Ruddo, from Jordan, from Bruce, from Daryl, and then the admin boys who've helped out in terms of clips, Kiri, Sydney, and a bunch of others whose names aren't springing to mind. And it's not because I forgot them. There's been a lot of work and a lot of stuff that we've done to get to where we are today on the 23rd of December 2025 has been a big ordeal, and we'd like to thank everybody who's helped, not just the names that I've mentioned, but Bjorn and ARL. You two joining me in the commentary box has been massive. Getting weekly broadcasts back out regularly has been a big deal. We've made some mistakes this season, we won't deny that, but we've had a really wonderful community supporting us, and there's been a lot of drivers who've come in. They've not been able to race this season, but they did last season, or they're going to race in 2026, and we can't wait to have you back. It's been really wonderful for everybody, and we've had some unbelievable racing as a result of the action and the drivers who've stayed loyal to us, and new drivers who've come in who have just been an outlier in the pack, and it's been great to have everybody on board. And all the people who are watching tonight, there's loads of people in the comments who've been there. Thank you for commenting. We've been getting over 100 views effectively per race, which is something we weren't expecting this season, but there we are. We're there with that, and that's helping to boost us once again. And the aim for 2026, I'm sure Mikey would concur with this, is if we could get back to 3 tiers, it would be our wildest dreams. But we want 2 consistent tiers of action before we look into that. We do want more leagues of other stuff as well. We don't just want F1. We'd like to get some more stuff going, but again, the people have got to be here for it, and that's what we're looking to do, and just take things at a time. We're not looking for exponential growth. We're not PSGL. We're not any of these other groups who are trying to be the biggest and best. We're just trying to be nice. Loads of statistics are going to come for you all as well over the Christmas and New Year period for season 22. So if you competed in at least 3 races in this championship this season, you will get some statistics provided for you. If we do 2 or less, it would skew it. It wouldn't really give you an accurate reflection of how your season's been. So that'll come over the coming days. I'll be working on that after Christmas. Obviously, it'll come between the Boxing Day and the 5th of January. I'm not going to give you a specific date. I don't want to rush this. I want to take my time. But for everyone who's still watching, thank you so much for ARL and for Bjorn, I'll let you say goodbye goodbye to 2025 as well.
Yeah, no, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all, and I'll catch you guys in 2026. But I also just want to say, big thanks to yourself, Jack, for having both of us, me and Bjorn as well. Thanks for that. So it's been a pleasure, and I'll catch you around in the new year.
Yeah. Also, thanks from me, Jack. Thanks from everyone in chat. Thanks for every driver participating. Thanks for every viewer. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope to see you in 2026.
And I'd also like to just say congratulations to our champions of season 22. Of course, you've got the Ferrari of the Constructors champions, that is Ruddo and Matty Rudd, and an additional congratulations as well has to go the way of Ruddo24 for taking the season 22 tier 1 driver's crown. And I'd also like to make a good point out as well to the tier 1 champions of Red Bull in the form of Sydney and Yellow-Geesen, and of course to Sydney taking the Drivers' Championship as well. Well done to you guys. Congratulations on your efforts. But from Bjorn, from ARL, and from me, Jack TM53, thank you so much for watching all of the action for Season 22. We will be back in 2026 for Season 23. Keep an eye out on our Discord page. You can come and join us. All that information is on the YouTube channel. You can just go and check it out. But we have Facebook, we have X, and we have Instagram where we regularly post too. So go and check those out for any information that will be leading up to Season 23. Trust me, it's going to be a cracker. Plans are underway for that. But for the final time of 2025, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful New Year, and wherever it might be in the big wide world, have a fantastic end of year.